Alright, so Hunter was kind of asking for a final verdict in the Skype chat, and I figured, let's take a shot at it. I'm not gonna be playing any levels, though I might just be walking around the overworld and going into some for refreshers. I think it's been like, I don't know, at least a month since I touched this, but then again, I could be wrong. Okay, so, first thing I played from them on this channel, not really counting all the older releases they had, like Randerland 3 and the Bed for the Twilight Gem, those had monumental flaws. And that's actually part of the reason why I was just straying away from the series until Hailcrash suggested I played The Crater, which I then did, and my mind was blown. But then I go play Hunter's Revenge Recharged. Granted, this was before Scorpion decided he'd revamp it to today's standards, because that was a 2009 hack. It was the black sheep of the series. Granted, it wasn't as bad as Randerland 3 and the Twilight Gem, but Hunter's Revenge Recharged left a lot to be desired, especially because I just played The Crater. And then I play Hunter's Revenge 2 Recharged. Rare case of the sequel being better than the original. So the story starts off pretty lightly. Hunter is dead, or so everybody thinks. But first things first, what is there to say about the levels? The level design was actually very similar to that in The Crater. They have good level design, not as innovative as some of the things Axe and Jinx had done. Well, Anakini actually had also more rock solid level design, but these guys are pretty good at it too. Overall, I don't really have many complaints about their level design. Maybe the level segments where you're ferrying grab blocks back and forth so you can break your way through a brick wall, that's kind of pushing it. That kind of just unnecessarily adds on to the leveling. Oh, and the item babysitting in the level right before you get to Eifer's place. Oh my god, that item babysitting. I spent like 3, 4, maybe even 5 minutes on like 2-3 screens of the level. Just going back and forth, like, pick the thing up and go bring it here. Like, I'm not a fucking dog! But other than that, they're good level designers. The graphics. The graphics, really. They're this thing. The graphical style. Really, like, I can't explain this graphical style. It is something no one else has ever done before. They have created their own world with these graphics. They've been at this futuristic sci-fi theme for a very long time now, since 2008. And holy crap, they have really outdone themselves with it. Granted, 2008 was a very rocky start for them. This is where they've ended up now. Yeah, Scorpion actually does have a very similar graphical style. I mean, they're brothers. They're very similar. I mean, seeing how they built levels in The Crater, that kind of says it all. Oh, and the music choice to this Romhack. They had picked some pretty nice songs. Like this one. Which I got pretty lucky to actually find out what the song was named. I think it's called Otis City Sky, and it's from some game called Terra Diver. Put the song name and title now that I know what it is. I remembered comparing this kick-ass overworld theme to early tracks Ministry. It seriously sounds like a lot like some of those earlier Ministry songs before their industrial work. And even if I might just be overthinking it with Ministry, this is still an awesome tune. It's a real shame I don't know what the name of this is or the source of. Okay, I talked a bit about the graphics and music. Plus there was also that Hunter's theme. Well, once you got to the 3rd prison and you got reintroduced to Hunter, and just after beating Eifer, that really scary Gyga's Lair intro theme. I said that was fucking demonic, and even said in the comment that this is Zen meditation music for the clinically evil. The music speaks for itself, really. I think I'll talk a bit about the story. I'll start from World 8, when we get to Eifer's place. Needless to say, Eifer's appearance was rather sudden, like, it was really necessary to go on a whole side quest. Granted, Eifer did some really evil things. As Sonic said, not even Bowser would do some of that. There's enslaving a whole town, kidnapping children. Yeah, that bitch is just evil. I am glad to see that she does make an appearance later in this hack, and she makes an appearance later in this series, so it's not just one-off occurrence that she shows up. I just want to make one quick note about one particular segment of Eifer's Palace. I'm gonna bring up the screenshot. If you get unlucky, actually, you just need to do everything correctly. Otherwise, the Eifer Magic Hoopa clone, whatever you want to call it, will simply not spawn and you won't be able to get through this brick wall. Unless you have a cape, but chances are you probably won't have a cape unless you know to carry it and not drop it from your reserve box. So, yeah, either remove the brick wall and figure out why this Eifer clone isn't showing up. There really wasn't much to Eifer, besides the whole trying to destroy the world or conquer it for her goddess, Iris. And then there's Kel. In fact, this level was actually kind of infamous among the author, because it had this bug that no matter how many times they fixed, it just seemed to keep coming back, where you would enter this level to be greeted by a black screen. You would be greeted by this music as well, but only that and the black screen, from which you would be able to do nothing but reset the game. Game breaking, because you would need to go here to be actually able to progress to World 6 onward. So from what I remember, Kel was this toad that went insane. We never even see Kel. We just look at his abandoned place. It looks like he had gone crazy. And also, how the fuck do you dig a hole this deep? How much time was Kel spending on this hole? So Kel will always be a real mystery. We never see him, we just see his place. And we just hear about him about having gone crazy. That's it. Oh, and yeah, music. Yes, this is still technically music. By some definition, it must be. Otherwise, you'll just dismiss it as some depressing drone that you can't stand listening to for too long. It's like your brain will just explode. Okay, I really want to talk about Hunter now and how he's changed. I'm talking about the in-game character. The in-game character, Hunter, had changed so much since the crater. When I was talking about Hunter in the crater to Hunter, the real-life person in the Skype chat episodes... Okay, which one of these is quieter? So when I was talking about Hunter, okay, this is getting confusing now. The author actually called the character lighthearted. The way I saw Hunter in the crater, I'm talking about the game character, you're gonna get so confused. The way the character was in the crater, well, the author said he was lighthearted. I found him more of as a kind of guy who liked to have fun. Sure, his idea of fun was still killing innocent people, that was horrible, but he was in it more for fun. Up until he changed throughout the course of Hunter's Adventure Charge, and then we ended up here with a character that is now goal-driven, and as a result, far worse and more ruthless in his quest to get what he wants. What he wants in this game is immortality, just saying. His actions go beyond anything he would have ever done as Crater Hunter. For example, in the Master Prison, where he tricks Mario into thinking that Alania somehow survived and this was just a facade to get Mario to let his guard down so he could attempt to kill him. Well, he doesn't kill Mario, he just knocks him out, and Sonic has to finish the Master Prison on his own after getting Mario to safety. I almost cried when I saw that part. I seriously thought Alania was brought back to life for a second. I was so overjoyed, but when Sonic started saying that it was too good to be true, then yeah, I thought about it for a second. How would Alania have survived anyway? She's still in the grave as we speak. And then I was just hoping in vain that Sonic was wrong and Alania did survive somehow. That was a very emotional cutscene, believe me. And then there's pretty much everything that happened to Sonic and his friends. Sonic lost all of his friends. The details of what happened to Tails were pretty unsettling. Hunter tearing Tails' tails off, throwing him out the window, and then laughing. And then saying he did that because it was fun. I wonder if that was before or after he became goal-driven. This was a rather boring level, but it was still actually very mysterious. Granted, I wasn't able to read all the logs, because that would have taken way too much time, and people probably would have gotten bored sick of me just reading. I'm a Let's Player, not a reader. Granted, I read some fanfiction, but still. I'm here for the game. But I was told that the logs were rather interesting and it's a part of the story. Oh, and did I say that this game had awesome music? The Creator had an awesome soundtrack. This one did too, but I can't really tell which one I like better. There are a few songs from each that just stand out above the rest. Major thanks to Hailstorm for actually compiling a whole soundtrack and identifying as many songs as he could, putting them on YouTube for our listening and pleasure. Oh, and the bosses. In fact, the whole game. It's designed to be brutally difficult, but then again, looking at the top left, you have this heart point system. By the end of the Romhack, you finish off with 11 hearts, so that gives the author a lot of room to just attack you with overpowered enemies, because you don't die in just one hit. In fact, the amount of leeway this game gives when it comes to getting hit by enemies is pretty amazing. That's why the bosses still work, compared to if you would not have a life bar. If you wouldn't have a life bar and you tried to fight against Hunter as he is in the game for the final boss, it would be next to impossible, but with 11 hearts, it's fairly doable. Hell, even on 7, apparently the version Hailstorm was playing, he did this boss fight on 7 hearts. I did it on 11. Well, actually technically 8 and 12 hearts respectively, because you can carry a mushroom in before you begin the fight. If I haven't said it already, we have an author that really does care. He is very considerate of the players. He's looking to make this the best it can be. Examples would be some of the boss fights. In episode 31, I was fighting an insanely difficult hunter in the master prison. I spent about an hour trying to beat it, coming very close in the process. And then I go patch the newest version, and it's become well, the only reason it was super easy is because I was playing the harder revision for an hour straight. Having 4 extra hits changes like everything. And then there was the whole thing in the Serenity Hall as I was playing it. Hunter making changes to the Serenity Hall as I was playing the revision that was on my computer, such as adding in a midpoint where there really needed to be one. Combine all that and you're looking at one of the best authors and one of the best hacks of all time. Except putting it to a number, oh boy, I'm gonna have to think about this a bit. I did a bit of thinking and comparing to the Creator. I mean, the Creator had less of those ridiculous ferry the grab blocks back and forth sections. Granted, this hack had one of the most interesting, sure, he was a total prick and bastard, but one of the most interesting villains in Super Mario ROM hacking. How Hunter has changed from one ROM hack to the next. Simply mind-boggling. And it'll probably get even more interesting if I read those logs. I think I'll just leave this as 85% for now. Please, you have to continue this series. And plus, there's episodes 1 and 2. Those don't even exist in ROM hack form yet. I'm sure you have the story laid out somewhere. It's just, I don't know why you haven't gotten around to building the ROM hacks for 1 and 2, considering you've done 3. 4 is being remastered. There's 5 in beta form that I'm looking at the last overworld screen of right now. There's 4th sector. I think you're working on I think Hunter wanted to work on Revelation. There's Goddess Robes as a side hack. There's... okay. I think 8 was the experiment, and then it's just gonna keep going and going until... I think there's like 11 episodes in all, maybe 14. And these are not short hacks. The amount of work put into the D4C is simply astonishing. So that ends that. Hope you enjoyed Hunter's Revenge 2 at Charge, because I sure did.